Hello everybody, welcome back to Daily Dictation 170. DD 170 is part 2 of an interview, or rather a description of a young boy who can speak many languages. He's a very smart young boy, probably smarter than me, but not smarter than some of you. Many of you guys speak so many languages. I'm so impressed and humbled. I'm happy to help you with your English. Now, before we go to part 2, we need to go back to part 1. This is a description of this young boy. Listen again.
Amid the bustle of Manhattan, Tim Donor blends in like any other teenager. His time spent skateboarding, watching movies, and keeping his iPod playlist up to date.
Okay, let me read the answers. Amid the bustle of Manhattan, Tim Donor blends in like any other teenager. His time spent skateboarding, watching movies, and keeping his iPod playlist up to date. Okay, let's go to the top. Amid. Oh, that was a tough word for many students. Instead of amid, well, amid means in the middle of, amid. So, amid the bustle of Manhattan. In the middle of Manhattan. We'll skip this. In the middle of Manhattan. We could also say amidst. Amidst. We can add an ST. Amidst Manhattan. In this case, if we say amidst, we don't need of. We could say in the midst of Manhattan. I'll write that down. In the midst of Manhattan, in the middle of Manhattan, in the thick of Manhattan, in the thick of Manhattan. So it's an interesting expression. Amid Manhattan, in the middle of Manhattan, in the thick of Manhattan, in pure central hardcore Manhattan. But here they used a different way to describe it. Amid the bustle of Manhattan. What does bustle mean? Bustle means lots of activity, lots of busy stuff. So quick and busy, that's the idea. So bustle is actually a word that describes sound. And it's like shh, 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 shh. So you got lots of work. People are walking. This type of sound is called a bustle. Listen to the bustle. The busy sound. So, amid the bustle of Manhattan. Now you know Manhattan is a part of New York City. And Manhattan is the home of Wall Street, which is really busy. Busy destroying the world's financial system. Or not. Maybe it's helping you. I hope Manhattan is helping you. But anyway, Manhattan is really busy, so bustle. Perfect word. Manhattan and bustle, perfect. What about a country town and bustle? Nah, doesn't really work. Sometimes a country town is bustling, but usually it's quiet and relaxed. But downtown cities, they're bustling, amid the bustle of Manhattan. So in the thick of Manhattan, the busy, busy Manhattan, Tim Donor. Tim Donor. That's the boy's name, Tim Donor. Tim Donor blends in like any other teenager. Another great expression. Blends in. Blends in basically means Conforms. Conforms to, conforms with, I like that. How about this? Fits in. So instead of conforms, this is better. Fits in. He's a good match. So, in busy Manhattan, Tim Donor is a teenager. He's 16 years old. And Tim Donor and any other teenager, he blends in perfectly. We don't really recognize him. He looks normal. He's perfectly normal in this environment, in this city. So let's talk about blends in. Now, look at me. I'm a white guy from the country in the USA. And now I live in Seoul, South Korea. So, do you think I blend in Seoul, South Korea? Do I blend in? No. No, I don't. I stick out. I stick out. People can see me. Oh, look, white man. Oh, look, country boy. If I go to New York City, do you think I would blend in with the bustle of Manhattan? Actually, I don't think I would. Because if I went to Manhattan, I would be like this. Wow! Look at all the tall buildings! Wow! Wow! I would look like a country boy. Do you understand? So I wouldn't blend in Manhattan. I would probably stick out. People would notice me. But this little boy, this young boy, he blends in. People don't really notice him. He looks normal. He looks regular. Yeah, he's perfect. Amid the bustle of Manhattan, Tim Donor blends in like any other teenager. And what do teenagers do? How do teenagers spend their time? His time spent skateboarding, watching movies, and keeping his iPod playlist up to date. So, keeping something up to date. So to keep something up to date means to maintain this. So maintain it. It means to maintain it. So keep something up to date. Keep something current. Instead of up to date, we could say current. I think in French you say au courant. Au courant. Au courant. Is my pronunciation okay? Let's see. A-U-C-O-U-R-A-N-T. Is it one R? Maybe just one R. Au courant. Current. Another great expression, up to speed. Up to speed. Now, we don't actually mean speed. We mean up to date. Okay? So, for me, I do a lot of computer work. I edit videos and upload videos to YouTube, so I need to keep my computer up to date. I need a fast computer. I need to keep the computer up to date. But my programs are old, so I need to update my programs. It's a great expression. What is he keeping up to date? He's keeping his iPod playlist. You know what an iPod is, yes? So the iPod songs, he's keeping it up to date. Now, personally, I don't have an iPod. But if I had an iPod, my songs on the iPod, my MP3 songs, would probably mostly be from the 1980s. Because I grew up in the 1980s. So my iPod playlist would probably not be up to date. What about you? Are your MP3 files up to date? Or do you prefer older music like me? Okay, so let's talk about pronunciation. Amid the, amid the, amid the. Now we can keep these two sounds together because they're similar. D, the, amid the, and just keep the TH sound. Amid the bustle of course there's no T, bustle of Manhattan. Now the perfect pronunciation in America would be Manhattan, Manhattan, Manhattan. But most Americans will say Manhattan, which is a glottal stop. So Manhattan, make the T, and your tongue is on top, stuck to the top of the mouth. Manhattan. And don't move the tongue. Keep the tongue there and go Manhattan. Keep the tongue there. Don't move the tongue. Manhattan. Manhattan. And that's a glottal stop. Amidst the bustle of Manhattan. However, this woman, I believe she's from Canada, and she actually says Manhattan, Manhattan, which is not a typical pronunciation in America, but I'm not sure if she's Canadian. I think she is. Her English is perfect. She just uses a slightly different pronunciation, and that's okay. If you want to say Manhattan, that's fine. Most Americans, however, will say Manhattan. Amid the bustle of Manhattan, Tim Donor, yeah, it's Donor, blends in like, blends in like. So this N and this S, they kind of cancel this D, and we got a little connection. Blends in like any other teenager, any other teenager. His time spent. Now, grammatically, Muhammad pointed it out, and other students did too. His time is spent. We need a verb. His time is spent. His time is usually spent. But they didn't use a verb. And that's okay. This is a news article, and when we narrate a story, especially the news, many times we disregard the be verb. You'll see it frequently, especially in headlines. So this is not a headline, this is spoken English, but it's okay. Some people want to do this, ... or a semicolon, but I just made it another sentence. And grammatically it is incorrect, but it's okay. We could say this. For a news story, it's okay. His time spent skateboarding, watching movies, and keeping his, the faster we say it, this H sound can disappear, keeping his, quickly, keeping his iPod playlist up to date. Up to date? Yeah, up to date. Up to date. Okay? So let's say it again. Let's say it together. Let's try American pronunciation. Are you ready? Here we go. Amid the bustle of Manhattan, Tim Donor blends in like any other teenager. His time spent skateboarding, watching movies, and keeping his iPod playlist up to date. Not too bad? Listen 2 more times and say it with the news announcer, the reporter, and then we move on to part 2.
Amid the bustle of Manhattan, Tim Donor blends in like any other teenager. His time spent skateboarding, watching movies, and keeping his iPod playlist up to date. Amid the bustle of Manhattan, Tim Donor blends in like any other teenager. His time spent skateboarding, watching movies, and keeping his iPod playlist up to date.
Okay, part 2 is a continuation of this. The reporter will be giving us more information about Tim, And remember, Tim speaks many, many languages. So the reporter will mention some languages too. For some of you, it will be easy. But I know for others, it will be difficult. This is a little bit longer. I think it's 39 words, so I made the level advanced. But actually, the vocabulary is okay, but it is long. And proper nouns are always confusing. So good luck on the dictation. Good luck on part 2. And also, once again, I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel, and especially to the people who are sharing my videos. I know many of you are sharing my videos, and I really appreciate it. It helps our family grow. And the faster we grow, the bigger we get, the sooner I can make daily dictation truly daily dictation. Not 2, 3, 4 times a week, but I want to go 5 days a week. 5 days a week would be cool, right? And then I can do other projects too. I want to do the phrasal verb section, just a whole mess of phrasal verbs. And I'm thinking about, oh, that's a secret. No, there's a secret. There's a secret YouTube channel in development. Hopefully December or January I will begin that. That's a new channel. And of course, Coachshane's ESL. I need to update that. And the pronunciation channel. I need more videos there. But with your help and making the family bigger and bigger, I'll be able to do it. So I really appreciate it. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. My ID is Coach Shane. And you'll get a picture of the board. You'll get an audio. And it's pretty good stuff. You'll get updates for my videos too. And I think I forgot to send the last daily dictation picture. And I apologize. It's gone. It's gone. So I'll be sure to get this one out for you tonight. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can check out my pictures. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day, great evening. And tomorrow I won't be able to do a DD, but Thursday, South Korea time, Thursday, we should be back for another daily dictation. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you next time.
It's just the movies Tim's watching happen to be in Farsi. His comics are in Bengali, and his iPod features hits from Iran. It is the life of the teenage hyperpolyglot, perhaps one of the youngest in the world. It's just the movies Tim's watching happen to be in Farsi. His comics are in Bengali, and his iPod features hits from Iran. It is the life of the teenage hyperpolyglot, perhaps one of the youngest in the world. It's just the movies Tim's watching happen to be in Farsi. His comics are in Bengali, and his iPod features hits from Iran. It is the life of the teenage hyperpolyglot, perhaps one of the youngest in the world. It's just the movies Tim's watching happen to be in Farsi. His comics are in Bengali, and his iPod features hits from Iran. It is the life of the teenage hyperpolyglot, perhaps one of the youngest in the world.
This class was approved by T. Oh, I'm T.